The image of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, dressed in khaki green military colors, sitting in Vilnius with suit-clad world leaders to discuss global security was remarkable. The Lithuanian capital was the venue of a crucial NATO meeting. Hello, and welcome back to Lux Econ. In today's video, we'll see what happened in the recent NATO meeting. So, let's get started. While NATO assured Zelensky that Ukraine will be invited to join, it did not provide a schedule for membership. The summit did, however, include the first meeting of the NATO-Ukraine Council on July 12th, when Zelensky was welcomed by NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. Stoltenberg said, "We stand with you in your courageous struggle for freedom and sovereignty. We need to keep up and further expand our support to help Ukraine liberate its land and deter future Russian aggression." Earlier this week, before the conference, Turkey approved Sweden's application to join NATO, which had been blocked because of Sweden's recognition of rebel groups as terrorist organizations being pending. NATO stated on July 10th that Sweden has amended its constitution, changed its laws, significantly expanded its counter-terrorism cooperation against the PKK, and resumed arms exports to Turkey, all steps set out in the trilateral memorandum agreed in 2022. The agreement is a major breakthrough for Sweden, which has been seeking to join NATO since Russia invaded Ukraine in February. It is also a significant victory for Turkish President Mr. Erdogan, who had been threatening to veto Sweden's membership application. The agreement still needs to be ratified by the Turkish parliament, but Mr. Stoltenberg said he was confident that it would be approved. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Sweden and Finland, which share a 1,340-kilometer border with Russia, broke their stance of neutrality to apply to join NATO. A declaration from NATO's 30 members formally invited the two countries to join in June 2022, while also naming the Russian Federation as the most significant and direct threat to allies' security and to peace and stability in the Euro-Atlantic area, and reiterating unwavering support for Ukraine. Finland became NATO's 31st ally on April 4th, 2023, after NATO allies ratified its accession protocol on July 5th, 2022. The country's membership had been ratified by all 30 national legislators. On the other front, Zelensky indicated that he wanted NATO to commit to a precise timetable for Ukraine's accession, saying that failure to do so may turn the country's membership into a bargaining tool in future discussions with Russia. While Ukraine's NATO allies reaffirmed their support for Kiev's accession bid, they were evasive regarding the timetable. Ukraine's future is in NATO, the alliance's leader said in the summit's final communique. "We will be in a position to extend an invitation to Ukraine to join the alliance when allies agree and conditions are met." At the conference, Ukraine did achieve one big concession. NATO decided to accelerate its membership process by removing a critical limitation for Ukraine. "We agreed to remove the membership action plan requirement. This will transform Ukraine's membership road from a two-step to a one-step one," according to NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg. The membership action plan is a set of economic, defense, and security reforms that other recently admitted countries were required to implement before joining NATO. The process can be costly and time-consuming, and its elimination could greatly speed Ukraine's membership candidacy whenever it's formally invited to apply. In the midst of discussion about Ukraine's future membership, Stoltenberg emphasized that the most urgent task now is to ensure that Ukraine prevails, because unless Ukraine prevails, there is no membership issue to be discussed at all. NATO members also condemned Russia's blatant violations of international law, the Charter of the United Nations, and OSCE Commandments and Principles. The declaration said, "We do not and will never recognize Russia's illegal and illegitimate annexations, including Crimea. There can be no impunity for Russian war crimes and other atrocities, such as attacks against civilians and the destruction of civilian infrastructure that deprives millions of Ukrainians of basic human services." For months, Kiev has pushed for full NATO membership, but many member states are wary of admitting Ukraine as Russia's full-fledged assault continues. US President Joe Biden said that Ukraine is not yet ready to join the alliance, alliance, stating that Russia's war in Ukraine must cease before the alliance will consider granting Kiev's membership requests. Biden said, "I don't think there is unanimity in NATO about whether or not to admit Ukraine to NATO right now, in the midst of a war." The United Kingdom's Defense Secretary, Ben Wallace, supported the US position, saying, "We can't have a new member in the middle of a conflict. That would simply bring war into the alliance." Wallace, on the other hand, stated that whenever this conflict ends, we should be ready to bring Ukraine into NATO as soon as possible. Earlier, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said he was confident the summit would send a positive and strong message about Ukraine's road to membership. However, Zelensky had tweeted moments before Biden's remarks that he had received signals that certain wording is being discussed without Ukraine. It is unprecedented and absurd that no time frame has been set for either the invitation or Ukraine's membership. At the same time, ambiguous language concerning conditions is added even for welcoming Ukraine. It appears that there is no willingness to invite Ukraine to NATO or to admit it to a member of the alliance. Zelensky reiterated, "Uncertainty is a sign of weakness, and I intend to openly discuss it at the summit." Despite his previous concerns, Zelensky told Biden in the summit's sidelines that the summit was a success for Ukraine, which the US president acknowledged during his remarks. During a meeting with Zelensky and G7 leaders, Biden assured the Ukrainian president that American backing will not be withdrawn. According to Biden, the declaration begins a process in which each of our nations and any other nation who wishes to participate will negotiate long-term bilateral security commitments with and to Ukraine. "We're going to help Ukraine build a strong defense across land, air, and sea," Biden promised, describing the country as a force of stability in the region to deter against any and all threats. So this was it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed our video. If you did, then like and share the video and subscribe to Lux Econ for many more informative videos. Stay tuned as we'll be back soon with another important video. Till then, keep watching Lux Econ.